What's up, family Tesla? Ray J is back with another video. In this one, I want to share with you some extremely significant information regarding Tesla's sales in China. I will analyze the current state of affairs, at least for the past 2 weeks, as well as for this year. What more information they provide regarding their sales in China and registrations is something you should keep an eye out for in the future. But allow me to clarify a few points before we get started. First of all, don't take anything I say as financial advice because I'm not a financial planner. Additionally, if it's possible, kindly click the Moomoo link that appears in the description and below. 5 free stocks are yours if you register with Moomoo via the link below and add $100 to your account. You will receive 15 free stocks in the offer RS very soon if you deposit $1,000. In any case, with regard to Tesla, the company registered 12,300 insurance policies in China last week, a decrease of 6.82% from the week before. We've had roughly 31,000 deliveries in China this month, which isn't too bad considering that most of them have been insurance registrations. According to sources, in February, they sold roughly 60,000 cars built in China, of which 30,000 were sold domestically and the remaining 30,000 were exported from their Shanghai factory. Consequently, the concern that many of these investors have stems from the fact that the Chinese data are not promising. Thus, this is the appearance of a chart. Although this might be a little difficult to understand at first, the data actually starts at week 1 of 2023 and continues up to roughly 52 weeks in 2023. And then, this is how things are now looking for 2024 as we are in week 1 of the year, which began right here. As of last week, the Chinese data indicates that we are currently in the 11th week of 2024. This is how the sales seem, but you'll notice that starting at the top, note how it reads week 11 right here. Here are the first 11 weeks. The first 11 weeks of 2023 are visible to you all right here, and you can compare them to the same period in 2024 right here. Here is where 2024 begins and spends its first 11 weeks. You'll also see that after a brief surge during the first few weeks, it somewhat declined. The reason for the decline during this time was that we had Chinese New Year, which ended quite some time ago. Additionally, you should typically observe a significant increase in delivery throughout the month of March. Usually that's what you want to observe. Observe how these large jumps in deliveries typically occur as the quarter closes. By the end of Q1 2023, Tesla was making about 14, 16, or 18,000 deliveries every week. As you can see, we also experienced a significant surge in Q2 2023 with 16 to 18,000 deliveries. Similar, but weaker, observations were made in Q3. Not the finest news, there were a few things that happened, including production shutdowns. Next, examine Q4. At the end of 2023, in the previous year Q4, we were achieving absurdly high numbers, minus 16, 18,000 per week. Wall Street, therefore, anticipates significant growth from Tesla and desires higher sales. However, take note of the somewhat mediocre sales they are now experiencing. This is from the beginning of 2020. At most, we're going to receive about 13,000. That is far less than the previous maximum of perhaps 18,000 or 16,000 that we were receiving. Thus, sales are undoubtedly declining in comparison to previous year's figures, and problems with demand are the source of this. You might also argue that competition in China has a role, but given the current state of the Chinese economy, I believe that demand concerns are a major influence. This explains in part why Tesla's numbers have been declining. Additionally, Tesla is now reducing manufacturing in China because to poor sales. Not the best of news, that. And when that occurs, there is a great deal of anxiety about what is ahead. Many of these investors are concerned that Tesla may not achieve all of its objectives. Tesla is going to fall just short. I was just trying to point that out, so allow me to locate it right here, based on Wall Street consensus. We anticipate 481,000 deliveries in the first quarter. Depending on the source you're looking at, this might differ, but it should be roughly that. Many people are worried that Tesla may be on the verge of a somewhat catastrophic delivery mishap. Now, this will depend on sales in the US and Europe, but sources indicate that they are still reducing output from China, which is essential for exporting a large portion of their manufacturing because sales are slowing down. Therefore, guys, we want to exercise extreme caution when it comes to Tesla. In fact, I have additional Tesla-related charts to show you. Here is the insurance statistics, and as you can see, sales for the first quarter of 2024 have so far fallen short of our usual levels. The third quarter of 2023 was the only quarter or year that was marginally weaker than this one. Apart from that, we still don't look as good as we did in 2023's first and second quarters, don't you think? As of now, we appear a little bit boring. Furthermore, you'll notice that we're at our lowest point of the year if you examine the whole insurance data collected during those 11 weeks. One of Tesla's worst quarters to date is this one. Quarter over quarter, the quarter is down 25.7. It is really down 3.9% so far this year. Thus, these are a few somewhat unimpressive stats from Tesla. In actuality, we're a little bit lower. You want to see an increase in Tesla's numbers. Recall that a year prior, when examining insurance data, Tesla had comparable figures. The red lines you see over the course of the year are getting a little smaller, but maybe you can still make out 2024. Compared to 2023 and even 2022, which is after the Lunar New Year, we are far lower presently. 3 or 4 weeks after the Lunar New Year has ended is when I'm talking. This is how it looks now. Since Lunar New Year fell earlier in 2023, the numbers were significantly lower. This year it was a little later, which is why we experienced the dip. A little later. Apart from that, though, things ought to have returned by the end of the quarter. We haven't arrived yet. Therefore, a very, very strong week for Tesla is required for this to turn around. And this is the entire year's worth of insurance data. Though it's not as powerful as what we could have gotten, this is still in line with what we've seen in comparison to past years. Thus, there's a great deal of worry about China at the moment. All right, let's move on to next week. I would estimate that the Tesla deliveries for Q1 of 2024 would begin in very early April, maybe a week or two after next weekend's. I'm not a pessimist, mind you. I'm not going to predict that Tesla will do poorly or that it won't make deliveries on time. I'm not positive. That's okay. I am not positive. I try to keep an open mind at all times. However, I do want to alert everyone to the possibility that Tesla's performance may fall short of what some had been expecting. Furthermore, Tesla is a business with extremely high standards. I will therefore be all right no matter what occurs. If Tesla fails and the stock drops much further, it will be a fantastic opportunity to invest again. Tesla might see a significant uptick if it surprises and performs exceptionally well. However, the data I'm examining in China does indicate that Tesla's performance appears to be lacking. Thus, you should exercise extreme caution. Let me also say that I will be all right no matter what occurs. It will be all right for Tesla. We could see a decrease in the dollar cost average if the share price lowers due to another dump caused by their deliveries. Don't worry too much about it in the long run since we have all these growth projections coming out owing to AI, the Optimus robot, not to mention the development of FSD, not to mention their sales which will rise over time. I promise not to worry. Tesla will also fare well. These interest rates will now cause some difficulties which will have a significant effect on Tesla. Regretfully, it looks like the Fed will need to raise rates for a while. It's possible that no cuts will come until the end of the year. It looks like Tesla will have to live this way for a while. But Tesla may price things in later if it has more catalysts like new gigafactories or upcoming products. Furthermore, I truly want to emphasize that if Tesla reports poor results, the next several months could not be all that nice. However, I see this as another loading chance, so everything will work out. Because, as you may recall, Tesla was not always in this favorable of a position. Following Elon Musk's sale, Tesla's share price dropped from $316 to under $100. It has previously crashed harder. However, even after that, it recovered incredibly well. Tesla might release more. It is seeing a slight decline. It's acceptable if it decreases even further. Everything will work out. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that the deliveries aren't the greatest. It will be all right since it has fallen in the past and returned. Tesla will get better as the economy gets better and financing rates start to go down. They will see an increase in sales. The future belongs to EVs. There are a ton of positive catalysts there. Their network of superchargers is an optimistic stimulant. Their future is still incredibly bright in the long run. I'm not afraid. I'm not at all concerned. I'll just keep buying the dips no matter what. When the time comes to run Tesla back up, I'm going to be really excited because it's going to be very, very lovely and fun. It will be a ton of fun. I am eagerly awaiting that. It will therefore be thrilling to ride this thing back up, so even if it does drop to low levels minus 150 a share, for example, it will still be. Okay, the moment will come when it will be so much joy. Guys, it's going to take patience. Due to loan rates, it will take some time, but Tesla is coming back. Have faith in Elon Musk, the future, and the fundamentals. Okay, everyone, I appreciate you listening. I hope you have an amazing day. I'll see you all in the next one very soon. Peace and thanks again. P is out.